Oh, hell yeah. Don't touch that dial because Sir Heathen is gonna give you a WWE 2K25 review as only Sir Heathen can, and that's the bottom line because I said so. Well, alright then, let's talk about the game,
Yeah, let's talk about WWE 2K25. This is the newest iteration of the WWE 2K series, developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K. Visual Concepts is the same developer behind most of 2K's sports titles for the last 20 plus years, including NBA 2K, NHL 2K, and the infamous NFL 2K series. It seems likely that WWE 2K25 uses the proprietary game engine originally developed by Yuke's for the series, based on their Tuken Retsuden engine, with Visual Concepts, leading development since like 2019. Whatever this game engine is, it feels the same as the last 5 years. I think they have exhausted this engine to its limits, and they need to create or switch to a new one. There's just nothing else they can do with it at this point. It's like, how many times can you polish the turd? So many of the familiar game modes make a return in this one. My Rise comes back. It's the story mode where you create a wrestler. In this case, you create two, a male and a female, and create your own path to WrestleMania. This mode was actually fun this year. The two characters' stories intertwine with each other, and I had a good time replaying through to see the different outcomes. I was surprised that I was actually pretty into the story angle this year in that mode. They did a decent job of writing an intriguing angle that made sense to include all the people that they did. So good job on the devs for that. And there are plenty of rewards to unlock too while you're playing through My Rise, as well as many different branching storylines which also give you an incentive to play through the mode a few times, which I did. Alright, and Showcase mode returns to showcase the entire Bloodline family tree going all the way back to the beginning. Honestly, this was an interesting history lesson on all of the Bloodline family members that have come through the WWE over the years. It was fun to learn who some of these monsters of the ring really were. And let's not forget, plenty of rewards to unlock in this mode as well, such as wrestlers and arenas, so definitely worth playing through at least once. My GM mode is back again, this time with some slight tweaks to the formula. The biggest addition being that you can finally play GM mode online with your friends. Oh man, we've been asking for this for years. And even though the mode still feels very bare bones, this addition right here is a huge step forward. But unfortunately, the game mode is very similar to last year with only a few minor additions being added here. One of those being that you can now trade wrestlers between brands after each PLE. I mean, that's a nice addition, but it's too bad that this is about the best thing worth mentioning. My GM mode just needs way more features added to truly be good. You still have to simulate through certain matches depending on the stipulations, and same for promos. There's just no excuse for that. Alright, and 2K insists on bringing My Faction mode back, even though it has no business being in this game. My Faction mode is a card collecting game mode, akin to, Madden Ultimate Team or NBA 2K My Team, where you open packs of cards and try to build a team of wrestlers. They do give you ways to unlock cards and packs, but it's obvious that they want you to spend money to buy packs to open. This game mode makes absolutely zero sense to me in this game, as there isn't really even a reason for collecting the cards and playing, other than to try and beat out the other whales' win-loss records. By the way, you won't, because you can't outspend the whales. But other than that, there's no point to it. I have all of the wrestlers I want to wrestle with already in the game. Why the hell would I want to spend money on packs to get wrestlers I already have, just so I can wrestle some other guy's pay-to-win faction, for no reason? No thanks. It's a shame because, there were a lot of resources put into this game mode that could definitely have been used elsewhere. Like on Universe mode, which is the biggest selling point of the wrestling games. I don't think they know that, but it is. That being said, we move on to Universe mode. And there have finally been a few additions to it this year. Can you believe that? So they still allow you to play as a single superstar or take control of an entire promotion, but Universe now lets you schedule multiple shows on the same day. This is something the community's been asking for about 5 years now, so that's good to see it finally get added. And here we go, the moment we've all been waiting for. Promos make a comeback in Universe mode, but it's still just a silent cutscene with text-based options that lead to multiple outcomes. I mean, it's nice that they added promos back into the game, That's a must. It has to be in the game. It's something we already had, and better years ago. But the promos are very underwhelming, and they get old after only a couple weeks of universe mode. Maybe about 2 months. You're already done seeing them. They have introduced a few new match types this year, including an underground MMA style match with no ropes, a Bloodline rules match, and the Inferno match. It's always nice to get more match types, the more the better. I'm happy to see the Inferno match make a comeback here, and the underground matches were pretty fun to play. But not much more has changed in this mode, unfortunately. It still has that same stale feeling from last year. Even with the addition of promos, the rivalries still come off as bland and don't really build any type of storyline. You get bored fast with this mode because you've been playing it with very minimal additions for the last 5 years. The game doesn't do a good job at matchmaking or telling stories, so no matter what you do to try to bring life into your universe mode, it always just feels dead and soulless. WWE 12 is still the best wrestling game in my opinion when it comes to just being able to let the game book the matches and watch the rivalries fly. Everything would start compiling in the universe mode in that game, and before you knew it, you had all kinds of alliances and rivalries going on. The storytelling aspect and not knowing what's going to happen is what's missing with modern 2K wrestling games. They keep adding features to the game, but they can't seem to figure out how to get the game to tell its own stories. It's so unfortunate, but I don't think they will ever get that part right. So the fresh new game mode that they hyped up the most this year is called The Island. And from what I understand, players can earn a bloodline position through quests, challenges, live events, and unlockables, with extensive My Superstar customization options in this mode. This is an online mode where you have a created wrestler and you can interact with other people online in the world and go do matches, quests, and challenges to get unlockables and points for your character. I personally can't speak on this mode because it's only available on the console versions of WWE 2K25 and I have it on PC. Yeah, that's right. If you're a PC player, fuck you. You can't even play this mode. They just straight up said that they can't have the game mode on PC. Why? We all know why. Because hackers and cheaters would ruin it. That's what they said. What else is new? They've ruined all online gaming at this point, and it really fucking sucks, man. So yeah, I couldn't play this game mode at all, so I have nothing to say about it. It sounds pretty cool, though. Alright, let's move on to the good aspects of the gameplay. You can finally have intergender matches in this game. For so long, we couldn't have men and women fighting against each other in the same match. Now, I understand the real life aspect behind it, but when it comes to any type of fighting or arcade video games, there shouldn't be limitations on that. We could do this stuff all the way back on the N64 wrestling games, but then we had to wait until 2025 for it to make a comeback? No clue why it was ever even removed, but needless to say, I'm fucking glad it's back. And also, chain wrestling makes a return, so now you can start matches off with realistic grappling. I like this addition. It's a very small detail, but one that adds to a match, especially during the big heated rivalries. They also have new backstage brawling environments, such as the WWE archives and the NXT parking lot. I mean, we needed a change up from the typical parking garage backstage area, so anytime they add more backstage environments, it's a good thing. And they introduced a new giant class that gives you an extra purple health bar, requiring depletion before you can actually be knocked down. This makes the monsters feel like monsters. I enjoyed watching smaller superstars keep trying different moves, only to realize this guy is just too fucking big, and started chop blocking his legs and shit. This was a small but really cool addition this year. I liked it. Alright, so possibly the best part of the game for me, the facial damage and blood look absolutely outstanding this year. They really touched up on the blood effects last year in 2K24, but now they've added to that with what looks like an entirely new bruising system, as well as women now being able to bleed. Now when you bash people's bodies in with the kendo stick, or get them in the corner and punch their head in, you'll see the red and purple bruising all over them, which eventually leads to blood. Anytime developers go out of their way to make things more fucking brutal, they're always going to get my stamp of approval. Very good job with the damage system this year, devs. And in tag team matches, the legal man can now give orders to their AI tag partner, such as to remove a turnbuckle pad, get a weapon or table, or even go and attack your opponent's partner outside the ring. I enjoyed this feature, and I felt that it definitely brings something fresh and new to the tag team matches. Also, they've added the ability to control different camera angles as well as go third-person view during entrances. So now during the entrances, you can freely move the camera how you want as well as switching around to different angles. I think this feature is definitely good. However, I didn't use it often because I couldn't make it not look janky or dumb. I personally was not very good at trying to keep it focused, and so I just left them to the normal entrance cameras. It's still nice to have that option, and I'm sure others will get a lot of use out of it. I just sucked at it. And new this year as well is a third-person camera view added for online competitive matches. This camera view helps to keep track of your character better, but also adds a new immersive way to experience the game. I like that they're trying something new here, and it's honestly pretty cool wrestling in third person. And as we all know, customization and community creations are still top-notch. Wrestling games have always led the way in gaming when it comes to customization of characters and utilizing community creations. This game's no exception, and it's what we've come to expect out of our wrestling games. You can basically make whatever you want, from wrestlers to arenas to new shows, or even upload your own images into the game as well, so the possibilities are endless. Alright, so let's move on to the bad aspects of the gameplay. Many of the same issues from the past few years still plague this game. First of all, whoever decided to go with the glitch effect during the menus can go fuck themselves. So they have this glitch effect when navigating all the menus. I guess it's part of their theme this year, but it just makes things look like shit, and I could definitely see it causing some seizures, no doubt about it. I mean, when I first saw it, it was jarring, and I thought I was experiencing like VSync screen tears. Then I realized, no, it's just the game. That's how dumb and out of place it looks. It's just jarring, and it immediately made me miss last year's menus. I know already that I'm going to hate navigating these menus this year, and I'm not looking forward to it. And of course, the referees are still absolutely atrocious. I would say they are slightly improved from last year, but not by much. It's like last year, when you went for a pin, the ref would run 3 circles, wave to the fans, and then get down for a pin. This year, it's like he does 1.5 to 2 circles, and then he just smiles at the fans and goes for the pin. It really kills a great match when a guy has his opponent pinned for like 10 seconds and gets a 1 count. I honestly can't believe we're still talking about this being in the game. This is something that could be fixed with a patch, yet has been in the game and plagued it for years. Makes no fucking sense. Somebody make it make sense. The wrestlers are still glitching into ropes and into their opponents when performing moves. I mean, sometimes your character will get into the ring, but the top rope is caught on his neck, then he just phases through it. Or you'll put your opponent in a sleeper hold only for your arms to be completely glitched behind his head so that you're not even really choking him. It just looks outlandish and kills the vibe of the matches when it happens. And then you'll also have times when you're hitting your opponent while they're getting up and nothing you do registers. I mean, you'll just be sitting there, you'll swing 3 times with your kendo stick, and it'll just go through your opponent all 3 times. Then they get up and they hit you and take over. And when that happens, it pisses you off. Also, certain wrestling attires, like capes and robes, will still glitch on your character's legs when getting in the ring sometimes. And then you'll be left with the cape protruding out of the front of your character's waist. You know, at that point, I should be seeking medical attention immediately as I've been impaled by Ric Flair's robe. Woo! And the AI pathing, in general, is just really bad still. Nothing is worse than when you're doing an AI versus AI match, and there's a count out simply because one opponent spent 4 seconds walking around the ring and couldn't find a good enough place for him to get back in the ring. It actually happens a lot in this game, and it kills rivalry matches big time. Alright, so to summarize the gameplay, I would say overall gameplay is pretty much the same as last year. While there are a few additions to the gameplay like chain wrestling and promos, there's not enough there to warrant anything new. The gameplay is still pretty much the exact same it's been for the last few years. The glitches that have plagued this game for years are still very prevalent, such as terrible AI pathing or referees taking 10 seconds to count a pin. I don't think any of these problems can even be fixed at this point, hence why I recommend that they create or switch to a new game engine going forward. You can tell they are trying with what they have, but between 2K games wanting the game full of microtransactions, and them trying to deliver a next-gen wrestling experience on a 15-year-old game engine, it's just not gonna get there with this formula. It's time to make big changes or get rid of the license. Okay, moving on to the good aspects of the visuals. Graphics are definitely improved in some areas, like body damage or skin textures. The body damage in Blood is truly something to behold in this game. It's crazy to see all the bruises on their face, body, and limbs after a match. Think of what Liv Morgan's stomach looked like after she took that hair whip from Bianca Belair at Elimination Chamber this year. That's what it looks like, and it's pretty badass. The blood still goes all over their body and lingers on the mat once they crimson mask. I mean, the body damage and blood might be the best part about this game for me, and of course, it's fucking brutal! Certain superstars, especially during their entrances, look very true to life. I mean, for instance, Seth Rollins' entrance was amazing. It looked so damn real, I was truly just blown away by it. And then when the camera got a close-up on Jade Cargill, you could literally see her like skin texture, the hair on her arms, and the moles on her arms. That's just how crazy you could see that close to her skin. It was nuts. They did a really good job on her body scan. It's just crazy how real some of these body scans are. Alright, moving on to the bad aspects of visuals. For as lifelike as the graphics can be in this game, there are just some things that don't look right. For example, some hairstyles still have that tendency to look like a piece of cardboard hanging off the back of your head. I mean, hair just hasn't looked good in 2K wrestling games at all in a long time. And I have to say, for as much as I hated that game, I wish I could take the hair graphics from Dragon Age Veilguard, which were actually pretty good. I mean, you could see every strand of hair, and apply them here. It's time we get good hair graphics in wrestling games, especially when this game is so good in every other aspect of customization and creation. And not to mention the physics of the hair is absolutely terrible as well. It doesn't flop around naturally and it just looks like a piece of paper blowing out your ace. Alright, so to summarize the visuals, overall, I would say that the graphics have slightly improved. Some entrances and face scans look like perfect replicas of real life, while others, especially if they have long hair, can come off looking out of place. The blood and the bruising system is amazing though, and it definitely brought something more to the table, but not enough changes in graphics to make it stand out from the previous years. Okay, moving on to the good aspects of sound. The soundtrack of the game is actually pretty decent and has a little something for everybody. That's hard to pull off. The game has a very diverse soundtrack of all different genres, and even the songs they have that are genres I wouldn't normally like myself, I found myself wanting to listen to some of them outside of the game, so good job on the soundtrack. It's not the best in the world, but you never really feel like you hate any one particular song, and they all work together to set the tone of the game this year, so good job. And the small detailed sounds are really good this year too. You hear people wincing in pain better than ever before, and you'll hear people in the crowd talking trash or cheering more. And this was always there, but it seems a lot more refined and honed in this year. The balance of in-game sound between the crowd noise, the wrestlers, and the ring are perfectly in unison this year, and it shows. It's crazy what these little details, when all working together, can add to your experience, really. Alright, let's talk about the bad aspects of sound. In the MyRise career mode, voice lines feel very phoned in by their real-life WWE counterparts. I mean, for instance, CM Punk or Jey Uso might be cutting a promo or talking to you, and it sounds like they're just reading lines off a script. And I mean, obviously they are, and I don't expect them to sound exactly like they would cutting a promo in the middle of the ring with full adrenaline going, but damn, they sound like it's 6:30 a.m. on a Tuesday and they haven't had their fucking coffee yet. It really is that bad sometimes. I expect more out of these guys in real life. It's unfortunate too because the story in the game mode is actually pretty good.
Listen, I know management wants us to brush things like this under the rug, but I'm not sure it was a one-time event. Besides, how does some random person get access to the Tron?
That's what I said.
Look, if I were you, I'd keep your head on a swivel. I'm just speculating, but this could be the start of something bigger.
Well, if it isn't the NXT Mutiny Welcoming Committee. Where's my gift basket, KO?
What are you doing here, Seth? This isn't gonna turn out well for you.
Relax. I just thought Mutiny could use a history lesson. I'm the first ever NXT champion. I even have my original championship belt to prove it.
That old thing. We've moved on, Seth. Clinging to the past doesn't change where NXT is headed now.
It's not that simple. The space-time continuum is a fragile thing. Trust me, R-Truth and I tried. I did mistake one of Pharaoh's dog treats for a protein bar right after we talked earlier. Made me pretty lightheaded, and the next thing I knew, all of this started. Maybe you've got a point. Anyway, what I do know is Survivor Series is looming, and frankly, you don't have time to find someone else.
Well, to summarize the sound, aside from the terrible voice lines from the real-life wrestlers, the actual game sound, including music, the crowd noise, and the in-ring sounds were very authentic and on point. Okay, moving on to my final thoughts. As much as I want this game to be better every year, it never quite gets there. The game still feels the same year after year with 2 or 3 new things added to it each year. Usually the additions just turn out to be gimmicks in the end, like promos coming back this year. Yeah, promos are back, but they're the most soulless promos you're ever gonna see, and there's only like 5 different variations of promos, so you've seen them all in 2 months of Universe Mode. And speaking of Universe Mode, it's still bland and boring as ever, even after these additions. No matter what they add to this mode, the fact that they can't get matchmaking, rivalries, or storytelling right makes this mode pointless to play. Your shows feel like one-off matches because of the way it's set up, so it almost feels like you're just playing a play-now match. There's no random run-ins or just random anything. If you don't set a rivalry cutscene, nothing out of the ordinary will happen during the match. This makes the mode useless. And it's also why I ranted earlier about WWE 12 and how awesome that game was at generating stories and rivalries. If you know, you know. That game kicks ass. The same glitches and broken mechanics from years past are still prevalent here, including glitching through ropes and opponents, to referees taking 10 plus seconds to start a 3 count, to AI characters getting counted out because they don't seem to know how to get back in the ring sometimes. I mean, the sound and graphics are still very well done here though overall. It's a kick-ass soundtrack, detailed in-ring sounds, along with lifelike graphics. They really go together to give you that authentic WWE feel, but it just can't get over the hump here. The same glitches and broken mechanics from years past are still prevalent here, including glitching through ropes and opponents, to referees taking 10 plus seconds to start a 3 count, to AI characters getting counted out because they don't seem to know how to get back in the ring sometimes. But at least the sound and graphics are still very well done here. It has a kick-ass soundtrack, detailed in-ring sounds, along with lifelike graphics, and they really all go together to give you that authentic WWE feel. So I do appreciate that. But the real question here is, should you buy this game? No! No, don't buy this game at full price at least. So if you make content with this game like I do, then it might be worth it to you to purchase. But if you're just looking to play a wrestling game, this isn't worth full price. It's not different enough from the past 2 years to warrant buying this at full price. If you have to play this game, I would wait to pick it up on a massive sale. We're talking like 15 bucks. If you already own WWE 2K23 or 24, then you definitely don't need to buy this. And this right here is also why these sports games need to stop having yearly releases. The additions that you get this year going from WWE 2K24 to WWE 2K25 should be no more than a $20 roster gameplay update for a base game that's out for a few years at a time. Because that's all you get. This practice needs to end immediately. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. If you've played this game, let me know what you guys think of it. And also, like I said, I do make other content with this game. I have another channel. I'll leave a link to it down below. But with that being said, yeah, man, this game just... It's unfortunate, man. We really deserve a good wrestling game. But anyways, guys, I'm going to check on out of here. Peace.